G'day guys, and welcome back to another Wild Wednesday. This week we've been in the forests of Lemurs or Andasibe, on the trail of the largest living lemur. Sometimes, well throughout the day in fact, you'll hear these wailing cries echoing throughout the forest. And that right there is the babakutu, or the Indri. These gorgeous lemurs grow up to about just over 2 feet long.
And they've got huge legs, about a third longer than their arms.
And they use those powerful legs to jump up to 10 meters between tree to tree.
The Indri also has the shortest tail of any lemur, at only 5 centimeters long. Most lemurs' tails are around the same length as their body. Despite all of this though, it's perhaps the Indri's song that is the most special part about them. Their songs have a variety of meanings, but once one family group starts, others soon follow after them. The dawn chorus of the Indri is unlike anything else. If you're listening with headphones, you might want to turn your volume down a little bit. This is the song of the Indri.
The Indri live in family groups. Generally there'll be no more than 4 of them in one little area. That'll be mama, dad, an older sibling, and then a baby. In the forests around here at the moment, we've seen lots of little babies around, and they are so cute. Some of them are just starting to learn how to jump, and they're practicing all day. It is adorable to see these little teddy bears just jumping off from mum and dad onto the trees. Very, very cute.
Despite developing faster than other primates of comparable size, Indri are relatively slow to mature. It can take up to 9 years for a female Indri to become sexually mature. Coupled with their 2 to 3 year breeding cycle, this is contributing to their critically endangered status. The Indri simply aren't able to reproduce fast enough to combat the population loss they are suffering. Indri are almost totally arboreal animals, which means they spend almost all of their lives in the trees. Over the years, they've developed large hands and feet with small opposable thumbs and large opposable big toes. Their other toes are joined together by webbing and work together as a single unit. This is an excellent adaptation to allow Indri to grab and handle things. Given their lives spent in the treetops, it is vital that the baby Indri learn quickly how to move around and survive. Learning to jump around through the trees is one of the most important things that they can do.
There are lots of legends surrounding the Indri, and all of them closely involve people.
The Malagasy name for the Indri, babakutu, is often translated as grandfather or little father, but can also be translated as father of a little boy. Many of the myths that surround the Indri reflect this through a strong father-son dynamic. A few seem to point towards the Indri having been the father of a little boy called Kutu, who got lost in the forest. Because of these tales, it is taboo within Malagasy culture to hunt these wonderful lemurs.
The Indri are critically endangered. They currently think there are somewhere between 1,000 and 10,000 left in the wild, but they actually have no idea, and it's incredibly difficult to find out exactly how many are left. They've never been able to keep an Indri in captivity for longer than 1 year, because their diets are so highly specialised. They eat something like 30 species of plant in a single day, and they'll cover nearly 1 kilometre in distance as well. When you've got such a highly specialised diet, it's incredibly difficult to recreate that sort of thing in captivity. And understandable why we're unable to get them to breed. But it's unfortunate, because breeding in captivity can be one of the great ways to save a species.
While the Indri get most of what they need from the greenery that they eat, they don't have access to all of the nutrients that they need. Periodically, the Indri must descend to the forest floor and eat soil. It is thought this is because there are certain minerals that the Indri are only able to access this way.
The Indri are one of the main reasons for the formation of Andasibe and the national parks in this area. In the 70s they suddenly realised that the deforestation was having a huge impact on the species and they were disappearing. Finally, action was taken to protect these areas. They used to be a lot bigger, but in the last 40, nearly 50 years now, the forest surrounding the park that's connected all these other special reserves has become hugely fragmented and isolated. So all of these populations of Indri are no longer connected and are now totally removed from each other. And that's where organisations like Mitsinzu come into play.
The reforestation of the forests on the eastern coast of Madagascar is probably the most important active action in terms of the conservation of the Indri that we can play a role in. If we can reconnect the forests, then maybe we can help give these critically endangered lemurs a chance at survival.
The Indri is such a special animal. They are one of the jewels of Andasibe, and over 30,000 people come through every year to see this amazing animal. But unfortunately, these gorgeous creatures may not be here for too much longer unless we provide all the help we can. And it's areas like Mitsinzu and the ecotourism that they help create that we can help save the Indri. Hearing their cries throughout the forest is unlike anything else in the world. If you ever get the opportunity, make it happen. The Indri is so special. We're going to see if we can find some more. Thanks for joining us, guys, and I'll see you next time.